So, as you guys may
Okay.
know, sometimes partners are not on the same page when it comes to intimate relations, and that can put a strain on even the strongest relationships. Mismatched libidos are apparently much more common than you'd think. So, we're joined now by intimacy expert Mackie Swan. She's CEO of Woo More Play. Mackie, great to have you here. So tell us about this. How common are mismatched libidos in couples?
It is incredibly common. Another phrase for this is desire discrepancy, and up to 80% of couples in long term relationships are going to experience this at some point.
So, how do you know if this is a problem in your relationship? Seems like an obvious question, but do you wonder, is this a problem? Do you talk about it? What do you do?
So you would think it's obvious. And I think the biggest sign that this might be something that folks are experiencing in their relationship or in their marriage is if it feels like one partner is always the one initiating and is frequently feeling like they're getting rejected. Well, it's not about being in sync with your partner 24/7. Ideally, in your marriage, you're going to find a rhythm where both people are feeling desired, both people are feeling heard, and it's working well for you and your spouse and the relationship.
How much does stress and anxiety play in here?
It plays in a ton. I mean, if you think about all of the different things that can impact libido for just an individual person, things like mental health, medication, like you said, stress, anxiety, it could be job related, it could be from parenting, could be from picking out your kids' Halloween costumes. I think there's so many things that impact like an individual person's stress. So, of course, that's going to have an impact on their relationship as well.
And
And
so
I
what
think
do
the
you do then?
stereotype, yeah.
Sorry, Allison. What do you
Oh,
do then
go
if you know the mismatch is about professional stress? Should you speak about it? What's the move?
So I think regardless of what the actual cause is of the stress and of the desire discrepancy, because of course it might be related to your lifestyle or your life events, but it also may just be that two people in a relationship have a different baseline for their libido. But regardless of causing it, I would say the first step, and this can be pretty hard to do, is to stop keeping score. So this idea that normal couples are intimate every day is completely made up. Intimacy does not look the same for everybody, and it also doesn't look the same in every relationship. So I think folks can remember that frequency should never be the goal. The goal should be connection. And
ahead.
then, of course, like you said, the next step is to talk about it, even if it feels really awkward. So don't have the conversation right before or right after intimacy. And definitely don't have it if you're feeling frustrated. I think that that can be a recipe for disaster. So, a good saying that most marriage counselors will say is clothed and calm. That's usually the best time to have challenging conversations around intimacy or around your relationship. And then one more tip that I always like to give, even though it does offer like strong reactions sometimes, is consider scheduling sex. I think for some reason people think that scheduled sex is going to mean that it isn't sexy, but in reality, it can really increase intimacy. It builds anticipation, it's really fun, and it's a good way of showing your partner or your spouse that they're a priority to you.
Gosh, that's fascinating, Mackie. I mean, in a marriage where there's children, is there anything other than scheduled sex? Is there another option?
I mean, there's plenty of other options. I feel like if you're going through these steps at home, if you feel like you're trying to talk to your spouse, if you feel like you've tried the scheduling sex thing and it isn't working for you, and you still feel like you're in a little bit of a funk, that's when I like to say consider talking to a sex therapist or a relationship counselor. I think that's an investment in your marriage. That's an investment in your relationship. And if you remember that 80% of couples are going to experience mismatched libido at one time or another, that's like a really good reminder for folks. There's nothing broken. It doesn't mean your marriage is doomed. It doesn't mean your sex life is doomed. It just means that, hey, maybe it's time to pay a little bit more attention to it, talk about it more, bring in some outside resources. And it's very much a solvable problem.
What if one person is a night person and the other is a morning person? What do you do then?
That is a common issue, and I think that you can try different things on for size, right? If you feel like one person is more in the mood in the mornings, give that a try. If it's nighttime, go back and forth. Maybe if you can take a weekend getaway, kid free. I think that that can help with the logistics of parents who are trying to be intimate and trying to connect with their partner, but that can, of course, be really challenging if you have little kids in the house.
I thought you'd say split the difference and go for a nooner.
There you go. Also,
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
also, Mackie, when you say, schedule the sex, I assume you need to sync your calendars, or does one person just put it
Don't
on the
put it on the
calendar?
calendar because you don't know
I'll
if the
leave,
kids see the
I'll leave
calendar.
the IT issues up
got
to
a
the
code word.
individual relationship.
Yeah, Mackie, you're great.
Laundry.
I can tell the guys have a ton of more questions for you, but we have to let you go.
We
Mackie Swan,
do.
thank you very much. That was so
Great
great.